Hey friends, this is Bill MacDonald, the reading and writing doctor. Today I want to talk about cause, transition, and effect. So the red light is going to be the cause in this case, the transition and the effect. And the blue light, the blue highlighter, the blue colored pencil, the blue marker will be the action to the transition to the reaction. Now, in the alphabet, C comes before E, so causes come before effects. So when your students get a question about what led to something happening, that would be the effect. So what you have to do is transition, rewind back until you can find the cause. What was the reason? Why did the person find something? And it's also basically if the reaction was finding the geode that we're going to talk about, the rock, then we've got to rewind with a race against time, because I say take your time but don't waste it, until we can find the action that took place, whatever the character did that transitioned her, T, and I call this the Teeter transition Totter, C transition saw. Now I don't want to lie to you, so let me just double check. The question that we're looking at here, it's question number 10 from 3rd grade, and only 55%, 55 numerator per cien, 55 out of every 100 students were able to get this question right. So sometimes it's not what we're teaching, it's just how we're teaching it. So I'm going to ask you to try the Teeter Totter seesaw method using color coding to see if that helps your kids. So let's take a look at it so that we can share this with our students on actual facts that they find in the middle of a passage. So those of you that already got the 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th and 6th grade, the question number 10 said, which event leads to Layla finding the geode? So on the top part, that we'll call the red, we're going to call that the effect. Okay. The answer, which is the cause of the effect, is that she stopped to take a photograph. So life happens at full speed and reading and writing happen in slow motion. So we've got to find her, first of all, finding the geode. And the thing that happened is we don't know that what she finds is a geode when she first finds it. All she knows is it's a rock. And so we have to investigate. We have to get our little magnifying glasses and read a little bit further so we can find out, oh, from her friend telling her, hey, you found a geode. So using the concept of Teeter and Totter with my revising graphic organizer, reading is understanding the content, comprehension, revising is improving the content by adding, and here's my arm, by adding, removing, replacing, or moving things around. So if you have to, you might do the reading portion and say, arms, actors remember more story sequence. So we're gonna look for her finding the geode, and we can physically act that out if we need to. And then we're gonna have to rewind the tape, go backwards, until we can find the action that led. What was she doing that caused her? What was she doing? Sorry, what was she doing? Action that caused her reaction to find the geode. What was she doing? Cause that led to her effect to find it. And in the same way that cause comes before effect in the alphabet, the cause would come before the effect in the event. Since action comes before reaction in the alphabet, the action also comes before the reaction in the story, inside the event. So on my Teeter Totter transition, for those of you who have the readvising graphic organizers, it's right there. And the reason I have these in order from this way, this arm, it's sort of going to be a ladder. Look for reading and revising questions that just have words. Do those first because they're easier. If they have only a phrase, those will be a little bit harder possibly, but it's just understanding basing on a phrase. If you're doing revising, sometimes you're just changing the order or the revision. If we're doing reading, we're just checking the order. If you're doing transitions, all you basically do is need to be connecting two ideas, and you see that I've color coded, even though we're not going to talk about it today. Green is for compare versus contrast. This orange will be conflict and resolution. This little light red is I find something and I find some more. Sometimes there's a connection. And so all we're doing here is connecting one sentence number to another sentence number, or if you're just looking at paragraphs like in reading, what paragraph is it? And I'll tell you right now, it's everything that we're going to see here is in paragraphs 3 and paragraphs 4. And so if you laminate your readvising graphic organizers and get a fine point, dry erase or wet erase or permanent marker, there's always ways to erase that. So we could put the effect here. So our effect, as we know, was finding the geode. Okay, and what she finds out first, all she knows is that it's a rock. So the effect would be red and the reaction would be blue. So we're looking for the red cause, the why, the reason, the blue action that transitioned her, teeter-tottered her, seesawed her to be able to find this geo. And it's going to be in paragraphs 3 and paragraph 4 is when, sorry, wrong place, I put that there. In paragraph 4, that she finds it. All right, so let's take a look. And if you have a lot of kids that waste their time, and I want to just show it to you, there it is right there. Which of these events leads to Layla finding the geode? So there's the finding the geode, the effect that we'll call red, finding the geode, the reaction that we'll call blue. And so we just need to transition backwards and say, okay, what was the action blue or what was the cause red? And the answer was that she stops to take a photograph, 55%, but apparently there were enough distractions that lead us on the wrong way. Now, since actions lead to reactions and causes lead to effects, it would make the most sense to go backwards. Now, I have this little minute timer that I got at Dollar Tree, and because details are a little bit easier to find, I'm going to time myself to see how long it's going to take me to get down there so I can find her finding the geode. And the timer has started now. I'm going to be looking through here, looking for geode, a rock, because it says finding the geode. Keep going. I don't see anything about geode yet. I'm just looking for those magic words. Geode. Oh, there it is right there in paragraph 4. You found a geode. Okay. So if we backtrack, that's part of the action, that's part of the reaction, that's part of the effect. So when we look back here in paragraph 3, Layla picked up the object. It looked like a rock that had been broken in half. When she turned it over, she gasped in surprise. So she found the rock, which happens to be a geode. So all we got to do is backtrack and say, what was it that led to her finding this? So I'll read the sentence before, rewind, back it up, one sentence. As she tucked her camera back in her backpack, something on the trail caught her eye. So actions speak louder than words. tucking my camera in my backpack. Well, that could be the answer. Tucking my camera, my eye on the trail caught hold of a special rock. Let's look one sentence before. Layla quickly grabbed, make sure that you're on the same place as me so that you can see this happening here. Layla quickly grabbed her camera and snapped a picture. So the answer is either going to be when she took the picture or when she tucked her camera back in her backpack. So as we look at it, you can see here, she grabbed her camera and snapped a picture. So which answer? She snapped a picture with a photograph. That's there. And my timer just ran out and I was able to find it just in time. Listening to what Cooper tells me, that didn't happen until afterwards. So that was another reaction from the reaction. She remembers the tour guide's words. The tour guide didn't mention anything until after that, or she doesn't tell us what the tour guide mentions until after that. She starts jogging towards her classmates. That's much later in the story. So we want to connect our cause to our effect, our action to our reaction. So one of the teachers that I was working with the other day said he loved the idea of the total physical response that I'm using. You got to try and get off of the worksheet and use sheets that work. And so that would be making your kids become the teeters and the totters, the C's, the transition, and then the saw. And race against time, if you want to use that little minute timer, that helps too. So that's 55%. And I think if you start having your kids look for the reaction, all they got to do is find out why that reaction happened. So basically, if they ask you, why did this happen? What was the cause is all they're asking. And so I've got to go rewind and see, well, what teeter led to that totter, or what C led to that saw. Thank you guys. Be sure to continue to follow me. God bless and take care.